What up, what up, what up, Hexagons? This one's called Hex and Gresham's Law in the Age of Tokenization. Buckle up. Why bad money, CBDCs, and real world assets drives out good money, native crypto. Keep in mind that 99% of Hex's swap volume has taken place on chain using decentralized liquidity from a decentralized exchange like PulseX, while Bitcoin trades almost exclusively on centralized exchanges. Gresham's law, bad money drives out good, has never been more relevant than today. When two currencies circulate at the same face value, people hoard the intrinsically superior one and spend or avoid holding the inferior one. In the emerging world of CBDCs, programmable central bank digital currencies, and real-world asset tokens, we are seeing a modern, blockchain-twisted version of this dynamic play out. Real-world asset platforms and CBDC-adjacent systems tokenize claims on physical assets, gold, real estate, commodities, treasuries, etc. The token trades at a paper spot price on-chain, often with tight spreads and 24/7 liquidity. Meanwhile, the physical asset in the real world retains its own supply and demand dynamic, storage costs, regulatory moats, and scarcity. This creates built-in arbitrage. Issuers, banks, funds, and governments already hold the physical honeypot. They issue tokens representing fractional claims. Buyers of the token pay a premium, implicitly, for liquidity and accessibility, while the issuer retains custody, control, and the ability to manage the physical side. The token price can be manipulated or stabilized via reserves, lending, derivatives, or even high regulatory favoritism, while the physical asset's true marginal cost of acquisition or replacement keeps rising. Classic Gresham. The overissued or lower quality claim, the token, circulates heavily, while the real thing gets locked away or leveraged by those who control it. When you purchase a real-world asset token, you're not just buying exposure. You're outsourcing trust and importing their risks. This is one of the very few instances in decentralized finance where your keys, your coins, doesn't apply. Operational and administrative risks. The issuer must warehouse, insure, audit, and maintain the physical asset. Any failure, hack on a custodian, mismanagement, natural disaster, hits the token holder. Legal and regulatory risks. These tokens live in a hybrid zone, subject to securities laws, AML KYC, future CBDC programmability rules, and potential government seizure or freezing. The honeypot becomes a target for regulators, hackers, or litigants. Counterparty and custody risk. You don't hold the deed, the gold bar, or the property title. You hold a claim on a legal entity that promises to make you whole. Insurance and security theater. Premiums for insurance audits and compliance get priced into token economics, or worse, socialized via dilution or fees. Arbitrage extraction. Issuers and insiders can profit from the spread between on-chain price and off-chain reality, redemption delays, minimum sizes, geographic restrictions. In short, you take the risk, they keep the asset. Native crypto assets like HEX carry none of this burden. Contrast this with truly native, decentralized crypto assets such as HEX or Bitcoin or Ethereum in its purest form. No physical backing required, no custody, insurance, or warehousing costs. Pure digital scarcity enforced by code, consensus, and incentives. HEX's staking mechanics with penalties for early exit create strong holder alignment. Zero counterparty risk at the protocol level. You hold your keys, you control the asset. No real-world arbitrage layer that insiders can exploit between paper and physical. Voluntary participation. No forced identity verification, no KYC, no programmable expiration, or spending controls like many CBDC designs. These assets function as good money in Gresham's framework. Participants prefer to hold them, staking, long-term security, while using the bad money, CBDCs, stablecoins, and real-world assets for transactions, payments, or as a temporary bridge. Some predicted outcomes are hoarding of native crypto. Sophisticated users and institutions will accumulate and lock up decentralized assets like HEX, while spending or cycling through tokenized claims and CBDCs for daily use. Premium on real control. Physical assets will increasingly be held by entities that issue locked tokens rather than by token buyers. Redemption queues and were fully backed claims will face stress tests. Regulatory capture accelerates the split. Governments pushing CBDCs and heavily regulated real-world assets will make the bad money more convenient and mandatory in some jurisdictions, accelerating Gresham's effect. The good money migrates to decentralized networks, privacy tools, and offshore structures. Trust erosion in hybrids. As more real-world asset failures, freezes, or dilution events occur, confidence in the tokenized real world will wane relative to pure on-chain assets that require no off-chain promises. Real-world tokens and CBDCs represent financialization 2.0, wrapping old-world assets in blockchain paper to extract fees, compliance rent, and control. They solve liquidity on the surface, but reintroduced all the legacy risks, plus new smart contract vectors. Native crypto like HEX represents the opposite. Digital native money with minimal attack surface from the legacy system. It aligns incentives through code rather than custodians. In Gresham terms, bad money equals programmable CBDC plus real-world asset claims. Easy to issue, easy to control, backed by promises. Good money equals scarce, decentralized, custody-free, native assets. History shows which one people ultimately hoard. The arbitrage window is clear. Own the protocol, not the receipt. Hold the asset that requires no one's permission and no one's vault. Fragile versus anti-fragile systems. As of May 2026, $70 million of ETH are in contested limbo from the Arbitrum seizure because U.S. plaintiffs claim those funds are attachable North Korean property. A Security Council with admin keys are now tangled in an international incident with user funds held hostage. FTX users waited 3.5 years through a bankruptcy, clawbacks, sales, and cross-border fights to free $8 to $15 billion of frozen assets. In July of 2023, the SEC posted, "Today we charged Richard Hart, aka Richard Schuler, and 3 unincorporated entities that he controls, HEX, Pulse Chain, and PulseX." They literally charged code for the first time, with conducting unregistered offerings for crypto assets securities that raised more than $1 billion in crypto assets from investors. When America's Security and Exchange Commission attacked HEX, Pulse Chain, and its founder for 2 years and then lost, did Pulse Chain collapse, go offline, and seize everyone's assets? Did HEX miss a daily payout to the share pool? No, because that level of control was never built into HEX or Pulse Chain. They are neutral systems with no central point of control or off switch. HEX and Pulse Chain carried on with 100% uptime and millions of dollars of liquidity for anyone in the world to buy and sell into. HEX is neutral, native, sovereign, yield-generating value storage. Pulse Chain is a high-performance Layer 1 fork that spent 2 years in development, optimized for speed, efficiency, and affordability to ride alongside Ethereum's mainnet evolution. Pulse Chain's resiliency is not hypothetical. It has already been demonstrated. Here is Richard Hart claiming victory over the SEC's highly suspect claims against him, HEX, and Pulse Chain. The final judgment is in. I have defeated the SEC in court, something almost no cryptocurrency has ever done. Pulse Chain, PulseX, and HEX have a legal certainty almost no other coins have. I won for your freedom to publish and associate on the blockchain and to publish the software that empowers you to do so. I did it with no help at all from the industry that I've won a victory for. It's time for us all to take it to the next level. The coast is clear for greatness. New opportunities are now open. Here are some spicy posts that almost nobody gets to see because I'm shadow banned on Twitter's global town square and everything app. Pulse Chain is premium, stable, robust, fast, affordable, layer 1 blockchain real estate. Pulse Chain is a full system state fork of Ethereum, the same robust decentralized stability, better community, and better founder. If you held coins on Ethereum in May of 2023, you have free coins on Pulse Chain. If you like playing the game of 21 million, holding 32 million Pulse, which was like $300 at the time, is like owning 42 Bitcoin. That's worth $3 million. Only 500,000 of these 32 million PLS positions exist in Pulse Chain circulating supply. You need 32 ETH, worth $67,000, to validate Ethereum's network for 3%. 32 million PLS allows you to validate the Pulse Chain network, which currently cash flows 8% to your cold storage wallet. Dear crypto scam and centralized exchange victims, HEX has 6 years, 100% uptime. HEX has fully met 100% of its yield guarantees. When's the last time you heard of a yield guarantee? Tokenized assets like stocks and gold will be centralized because they touch the real world. HEX does not touch the real world. It does not rely on oracles, and it has no sensor tech. Bitcoin had 2 inflation bugs. HEX is locked forever. Bitcoin burns $15 billion of electricity. HEX burns incorruptible time. HEX inflation buys market scarcity from its investors. HEX pays investors to own, control, and store their own money. HEX is 3.69% inflationary forever. HEX share power is deflationary forever, 27% historically. HEX shares are more important than HEX because shares are deflationary and appreciate while they pay investors' cold storage wallet daily. HEX lives on Pulse Chain, our own community-built Layer 1 Ethereum fork. HEX is also bonded to 3 other killer apps on Pulse Chain. HEX does well when they do well. Here is a price simulation of PulseX, Pulse, and Incentive all receiving a $50 million price pressure, and HEX doesn't receive anything in this simulation. And it's showing still HEX does a 3,700x just off of these 3 assets that pumped on Pulse Chain because of how everything's bonded together. HEX is indexed with these assets. PulseX has a permanent buy and burn from exchange volume. Pulse has the same narrative as Ethereum, and holding 32 million Pulse allows you to validate Pulse Chain, keep it decentralized, and it's yielding 8% currently. Incentive Coin is PulseX's uni token. It acts like a liquidity provider's work truck, and it mitigates impermanent loss. Here is the latest example of Twitter's censorship. I'm a ghost banned, apparently. I do not post or follow excessively. My speech is being suppressed because I talk about yield guarantees made by the immutable, autonomous HEX.com smart contract that has 6 years of 100% yield generating uptime. All right, HEX family, thank you for watching. Please check out my free strategy video I made for HEX. I pray this helps investors understand the power of HEX as an immutable, autonomous, yield-generating financial system that pays investors to own, control, and store their own money. If 1 million people decide to save $100 of HEX every month, then $100 million a month will buy and burn HEX for the next 15 years. That's HEX's proposition at the bottom of this vicious bear market. That in 6 years of 100% yield generating uptime. All right, HEX family, love you and God bless you.